Welcome to For Love and Play. I'm matchmaker comic Yael Meisel. With me is comedians Keenan Weaver and Louie B. For Love and Play, the show about dating like a goddamn adult. We're going to discuss who to spend your time with for love or for play. Let's do it, boys.
This show contains adult content for entertainment purposes. Listener discretion is advised.
Not a doctor.
Welcome back to another episode of For Love and Play. I'm your host, Keenan Weaver, back with my favorite people, the Queen. Yael, what's going on, girl?
Happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you're staying warm in this beautiful weather we've got on the East Coast. It feels like it rained in hell. How are you, darling?
I'm doing fine. The Baron, Louie B.
Hey,
what up,
ladies.
bro?
What's up? I feel swampy.
Yeah, that's the weather. That's exactly what it is. And today we have a swampy good guest with us, Andrew
What does that
Brayoff.
even mean?
He's the author of Check Please, comical stories about dating, relationships, and horrible things we say to each other. Thank you for joining us, Andrew.
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for having me. It's I'm sure it'll be a fun ride.
Definitely. We've known you for almost a year now. Like, when we first started our show, we met you. So we're glad to finally get you on. Before we jump into our topic of the night, Louie, tell the people how they can join in on the conversation.
This is what I need you people to do. Get out your computers, your tablets, whatever, your phone, and you can email us at forloveandplay@gmail.com. Emails your questions, your concerns, whatever you like. Or you could contact us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/forloveandplay. And that's the number 4, Love and Play. And also that is the same as our Twitter, which you could tweet to us at For Love and Play. Take it away, Keenan.
So, Andrew, again, we thank you for being here. Up top, I said that we met about a year ago, and we had like a great conversation just on the streets of New York, talking about dating, relationships, and thought it would be wonderful to have you on. I've looked through the book that you have, and it looks like it has like old receipts from dates, and you have different stories. What kind of inspired you to put this out?
Yeah, the book, the receipts that you mentioned, most of these are like from 2010 to 2013, and people ask me like, well, why did you keep the receipts? I'm like, I'm a designer, I'm a web designer, I'm a print designer, and I figured, you know what, I might use these someday. So when I was doing the book, it seemed like a perfect background image. So I scanned in all the receipts. Every image is completely different. But what gave me the idea is I started doing a blog about it. I started doing jokes on stage about dating. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a designer. Let's put a book together. So I started writing 15, 20 stories about dating. I try to get about 20 stories, but the 18 that I have seem to fit. And then after that, it just grew. I contacted my comedy friend, producer Sten, to see if he wanted to do the illustrations. He said, yep, let's do it. So we started doing all the illustrations. I started doing all the copy, writing everything, about 4 or 5 different variations, and there you go. But it's just the idea of, you know, comics writers, we do it because it's cathartic, right? We want to get it on the paper. And also I wanted to remind myself just on how bad some of these dates actually were.
So how bad some of them are?
You know what? There was never where I was kicking and screaming. There was 2 dates that I went on. Actually, 2 women that I knew for a while that said to me point blank, and they're in the book. Andrew, I'm looking for someone to take care of me. And one of them said to me over the phone, and I said to her, I'm like, you know I can hear you, right? Like you're speaking out loud. And she's like, I'm a 37-year-old adult female. I've been taking care of myself my entire adult life, and I'm looking for someone to do it now.
What?
And I'm like, you're still talking. I can still hear you.
What?
And I'm like, you're an adult. That's what adults do. I've had people just never reach for their purse, never say thank you. One date was spewing at me that I'm a white Jew, that I can do anything I want, and that she was Spanish, and that her family is talking down to her because she's getting a job at a law office. I left her while she was in the bathroom.
Are you serious? I would have stacked that bitch in the face.
No, she was.
Are
We
you
were talking.
serious?
And the thing is, though, it's like, I mean, yeah, you'll know me. I don't bring up, I'm like, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm a Jew. You know, she's like, oh, are you Jewish?
No,
Yes.
you can't miss. I'm a Jew like other people are a fucking vegan. It's gonna be rubbed all over your face.
All right,
This
okay, you
shouldn't
got
even
me.
Come up.
No,
I'm
it
saying
didn't
it
even.
wouldn't even come up
It didn't even
unless
come
she
up.
brought it there.
No, it didn't even come out of conversation. And she's like, "Oh," and I'm not going to do the accent, obviously. She's like, "You don't know how hard it is for me. You're a white Jew, male.
Mm.
You can do anything you want." She's like, "My aunties make fun of me. They talk down to me like, oh, who do you think you are? You think you're better than me because you get a job at a law office?" And I said to her, "I'm like, easy. I'm not.
Oh.
I don't care what your color or your skin is. We're having a good time.
Oh.
Let's just enjoy the wine." But she kept on going, and like 3, 4 times, she started to accuse me of things.
Damn.
So she went to the bathroom. I gave the bartender my credit card, gave him like a 30% tip because he was amazing, and I just left.
You
I
paid?
don't blame you. I don't blame you.
You know what?
No, you don't want her to call
this
you.
is-
You don't
this
even
has-
want. You don't want to stick her with the bill.
No, because it wasn't that, guys. It was the fact that I didn't want to stick the bartender with having to deal with it. So I said, "Listen, you are really good. You brought us the drinks. You see what's really going on." Gave him a good tip, and I left. Plus, I go back there every once in a while.
Oh,
with
okay.
with just friends or myself, just grabbing a wine or a beer. But this has nothing to do with the bartender. I wanted to make sure he or she was taken care of, and I just left.
Okay, so this is what I learned. If you're going on a date, don't take her to your favorite spot.
Oh, it was just
definitely
yeah.
not. That would be a very good
and-
rule to add, Louis.
Yes. And also, this is what I learned. Andrew was pretty much dating a Dominican.
Wow, you're good. But it's Keenan. I mean, in the idea of horror stories, like I said, there was none that I was like cursing or whatever. It's just the horrible things we say to each other, the horrible things. One woman I'd taken out 3 or 4 times. This was like our 3rd or 4th date. I had paid for everything, a show, food, everything in the beginning of the date. We went out for wine around 1 o'clock in the morning. We just got 2 glasses of wine and that's it. I said, "Hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom." She's like, "Okay, I'll get the check." I come out. She didn't pay for the check. She just got the check. I was putting my jacket on, and I swear to you, these are her words. "Sweetie, do you think you paid the bill yet? Because you didn't," and slid it over to me.
Oh.
And I said later on, I said, "You couldn't have." I mean, I'm not a cheap person. I spent a lot of money on dates with no worries whatsoever. It's the principle of it. And she said, "Is something wrong?" I said, "You couldn't have just put $20 down?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, I figured that was it. But you know what? I guess I'm old-fashioned, and it makes me feel more like a woman when the guy pays. I wish I was making this up."
See, I wanted to just say something that right now, but it would be totally atrocious. So I'm just gonna keep it to myself about her being old-fashioned.
I think that's so disgusting.
I think it's
That's,
bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it's
that's a good
complete
outlook.
bullshit.
I wanna pack out a couple of things actually. Let's go back to the woman you left in the bathroom.
I don't blame you. I would
yeah.
have flushed your ass down the toilet.
Yeah.
I've done
What-
something like
what
that,
do
but
we-
yeah.
What do we think as a whole of walking out on dates?
I've done it twice.
Really?
Yeah, but I didn't. I made sure I didn't pay.
See, now here's Louis. This is why I feel like Andrew pulled the boss move.
Yeah.
This is why I tell a lot of people, when you actually pay and not really like care about the money, it adds an air of lack of caring for the other person too. Like it's like I don't care about, you're more of a headache than whatever this $40, $80 this is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this down and use it to really get rid of you. Now you have nothing to really come at me for.
Right.
And that's the thing, and that comes back, and I completely agree with you, and that comes back to my comment before, is the idea that this had nothing to do with the wait staff.
Yeah.
They were awesome. It's like, I'm not gonna, because she can come out and she can say, "Screw you, I'm not paying for this. This was his deal, and I didn't want this person to be out the $40, $50. Like Keenan, like you said, here's $50. Thank you for everything. I gotta go." And that's it, because I didn't want it to be their headache, or nor my headache. So I overtipped and I left. It's simple as that. I never saw her again anyway, so all good.
I mean, I've walked out a couple of dates too, and it's just when you see something that's a waste of time, I just don't waste my time. And just like that, I love the title of the book. It's like, check please, and I'm moving on. Like, we're just gonna move on from this.
And I've done it before, to be honest with you. I've done that before on dates. I've literally looked up and said, "Check please." Cool.
Don't blame you.
We need to get out of here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When do you think is the?
We've heard Louis' walkout story. Have you just left the date before, Yao?
Oh, of course she has. Come on.
Oh, I'm thinking.
like, let me, Andrew, let me ask you a question. When was it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No, Yael, really?
No.
Wow.
You don't seem like a woman that would put up with a lot of shit though.
I mean, I have not had, thank God, knock wood, I have not had the reason. I've left. I mean, we talked in a show, one of our shows. I left someone that I was dating. Like, you know what? We don't even need to do any of this. There's no relationship here for either one of us. I can't justify just hanging with you. I'm busy. I have children. I have a life. I can't. I'm not going to just hang with you for the sake of hanging. Peace out. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir.
Louis, you had a question for Andrew?
Yeah. When exactly is? At what point do you hit like the eject button on a date? Exactly. Like what? Like what are your feelings going through?
It's a really good question. Just taking this instance, I felt this girl was attacking me because I was white, I was male, and I was a Jew, as she says, which to me sounds a little offensive, but I'm in my 40s. Most things don't offend me. When she said that, she was attacking me like, you're the problem. You don't know how tough life is. I'm like, well, that's kind of... She said it was like, you don't know how tough life is. You don't know how hard I have it. I'm like, well, you're right. I don't know how hard you have it, but don't tell me that I don't have bumps and bruises in 40 plus years.
Right.
I'm going to play the minority devil's advocate. What was the conversation leading up to that statement?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were talking at a local bar. We were just talking about dating. We were talking about the music. There was live music that was playing. It was very airy. There was no animosity. It was just like, do you usually come here? Or, you have friends in the area. You used to live on the Upper West Side. Very benign. Nothing very, very top level stuff as you would do. And then as we were walking to another place, I said, oh, yeah, I've lived on the Upper East Side. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm raised in Jersey. And she's like, oh, so you're Jewish, right? I'm like, odd question, but I'll go with it. And Louis, Dominican Spanish. I'm not saying they're the same, but she's in that column, if you will. Mm-hmm. And it just started from there. Keenan, she started accusing me. She's like, you don't know how hard I have it. My family makes fun of me. Oh, you think you're too good. You don't have to clean hotels. You think you're better than us.
Please.
I didn't know what to say as a quote unquote outsider. I don't know. I didn't want to placate. I don't want to say, oh no, you are better than them, because who's to say you're better than them? You're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're an architect. We all do what we need to do. Some people grow up in a better situation. That's always going to happen. But I said to her, I'm like, well, listen, you're making a better life for yourself, or you're making something of yourself, or whatever the word was. But she just kept on coming back to me, saying, you don't know this, you don't know that. I'm like, you're right, I don't know, but you're accusing me. But to answer the question, I think after the fourth or fifth time, I told her, I said, listen, we're just enjoying ourselves. She went to the bathroom. I pulled the ripcord hard, really hard, because I put up with it for about 45 minutes or so, and it started to be like she was accusing me, like, well, you're white, you have no idea what my life is like, and you're a Jew, and you have everything available to you. And once someone starts calling me a Jew, then it's a slippery slope.
Son, I have nothing to say to you at that point.
Yeah,
use that word one time with me. If you have your teeth, you're welcome.
The
fuck
singularity
off.
of it.
Yeah, because if someone says to me, like if another Jew says to me, it's like, what kind of Jew are you? I was like, are you a Hanukkah Jew? Are you a Christmas type Jew? Are you Orthodox? And that's fine. But when someone says, oh yeah, you're a Jew, right? It's like, it's a little much. And like I said, most things don't offend me. I love when people are a proxy for other people that get mad when they hear things that someone's not even in the room, but they get mad for that person. But for me, it's like, I'm Jewish. I'm not a Jew. It seems a little aggressive. And maybe I'm off a little bit, but it seems a little aggressive for me. But I pulled the ripcord really hard because she wasn't getting off topic. She wasn't allowing herself to enjoy the night. And to be honest with you, other people started turning their heads a little bit because she started getting not loud, a little verbose. And I was like, oh, there's other couples here. There's other people here. And they're starting to turn their head. And I'm now being the center of attention, which is on stage is fine, but not at a wine bar. What's that?
I would say it was something a comic loves.
A comic loves on stage. Give me the spotlight any day of the week. But at a wine bar and other people are trying to enjoy themselves, and she's throwing out, "Oh, you're a white Jew from Brooklyn. You don't know how difficult." I'm like, okay. I'm pretty sure my parents had it difficult growing up in the 50s and 60s. But whatever. To answer your question, I think at that point what it comes down to is when I or Yael or any of you guys start having fun on the date and you can't turn it around, because I'm sure both of you guys have been on dates before and you try to turn it around, you try to be the good guy, but after a while you're like, I can't do it. I'm miserable. It's still 9 o'clock. I can go out and get some time on stage. I can meet up with my friends, whatever.
Yeah, I remember one time I pulled a ripcord. I think the date was actually going fairly well, right? I liked the girl. Date was kind of cool, and I forget where the conversation was going, but she made this comment of, you have to impress me.
Oh.
Right? And when she said that, my immediate response was like, but I'm impressive. I don't have to impress you. And I, check please, and that's exactly what I left.
Well, she should find you impressive if she's going to date you.
She should, but to say you have to impress me.
So she said that like the actual words came out of her mouth.
Right. You have to impress me. And it's like, all right, honey, like, again, you're right, Yael, but that's not my duty to impress you.
Well, no, it's not your duty, but I'm saying, like, it shouldn't even come up, I feel like. Obviously, she should be impressed with you.
There's a big difference, I think, that's like, Yael, when I met you or when someone meets you, like, I can say, oh, wow, she's impressive. She's doing a lot of this stuff. But then for someone to say, oh, no, Yael, you have to impress me. It's a two completely different comments. Like, I would date somebody or I would ask somebody out because I'm impressed by their sense of humor, or wow, you're hiking somewhere, or you have a really cool life.
I would only be there if I found you impressive. You know what I'm saying? I would only be there.
But to come out and say it, Keenan, you have to impress me. It's like, I have to impress upon you that I'm leaving right now. So
like, who the fuck are you? Like,
yeah.
It's like, what? It's the difference of we're all comics, and you see those audience members that are just there to have a good time, and they're fun, great audience members. But then you have those that are like, make me laugh.
Oh, we've all seen them. They're just sitting in the front row, their chin in their hand, and like just staring at you. It's like, asshole, I got 100 other people, and there's only you that aren't laughing at my jokes. So what's going on here?
You're the problem. Like, you're the problem.
It's not me. I got everybody. I even got the 15-year-old that shouldn't be here in the way back. I've got them cinched up.
Crazy. So I want to unpack one other thing that you touched on. Was a female saying you said she was 37 years old and she wanted someone to take care of her, right?
I've had 2 women say that to me.
2 women, at around the same age group.
This one was this is a few years ago. At the time, she was 37. At the time, this other girl was 33, and the first girl we had dated on and off for over a year. This is many years ago. We went out for 3 months, broke it off, found each other 2 months later, and so on and so forth. And the last time we met up, and this is the funny thing, we weren't even dating. We just went out to see if it would work again. And the problem with her is that, Yael, say you and I go out for ice cream and I'm in line with you. Okay, I have to pay. If we're going somewhere else and I get something, I have to pay. So we're in Columbus Circle. She wanted a fruit smoothie, so we went and got a Jamba Juice. I'm not in line, and she's like, "Oh, you don't want anything?" And I wanted to say no, because if I get something, I'm gonna have to pay, and we're not even on a date. And we went for brunch, which again, it's not the money. It's like, you don't offer anything. You're not including anything into this process. We went out for brunch, and the bill came. Didn't even reach for her purse. On her phone texting, didn't do anything. Gave the guy a credit card. Bear in mind, this is not really a date. I was not going out with her. The guy came back with a credit card. I forgot to activate it. My bad. Gave him another credit card. She just sat there, nothing. And I'm like, you know what? All bets are off. And I'm like, in the book, I don't use names or anything like that for obvious reasons. And I said, let me ask you something. What are you looking for? And she's like, I'm looking for a guy to take care of me. I'm like, what does that mean? And it's money. These 2 women and again, just so every woman listening to this doesn't want to rip my testicles off, I'm not saying every woman. I'm saying these two specific women. The inclination I get out of this is they want to quit their job, get a guy making well above six figures, pop out some kids, get their nanny, and get manicures, pedicures every week. Now, to some women, that sounds awesome, but it's if you're going out to get that specifically, then you need to be shopping in different areas. But when she told me that I'm looking for someone to take care of me, as with the first girl, I said, well, then take care. Because I'm not here to take care of you. I'm here to be in a relationship with you, and then we take care of each other. She was looking for vice versa. She wanted to be taken care of and then the relationship. I'm like, well, that doesn't work for me. I said, sometimes relationships are 50-50, sometimes 80-20, sometimes a 0, 100. The person's sick, they need something done. I'm all there for it. But she was just looking for someone to take care of her, someone that would give her the viability to quit her job and just siphon cash from her man.
But what does she have to offer in return for?
But see, Louis, that's the biggest question I've got, and I can see is if they say, well, if I'm allowed to do this, I'm going to start my own business. I dated someone many years ago. I was making enough, not a lot, but I was making enough. She was able to quit her day job and start her own business, which was great. I was able to afford her to do that. I bought her this, I bought her that, all good. But that's the problem. These two women weren't adding anything. They were subtracting. They were detracting from the whole thing. When someone says to you, I'm looking for, like Yael, if you meet a guy saying, well, I'm looking for a woman to take care of me. You're like, well, I'll be in a relationship with you, and if you get sick or whatever, I'll take care of you. But no, I want a woman to take care of me. It's a very inflammatory, very, dare I say, upsetting statement, because that means you don't respect me. Be a guy or a girl. You don't respect me enough for it to be 50-50.
My ex-husband was very proud of himself and what he landed in a wife. I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
We heard about my successes all the fucking time. All of them.
But what was his?
Didn't have much to share.
Because they're living vicariously through you, Yael.
Oh.
You know, it's like Keenan.
Dude.
You were saying, oh, that girl said, oh, impress me. Because if Keenan is this producer, comic, podcast, video, she's going to be telling her other friends, oh, yeah, my man does this, my man does that. She's not adding anything to anything. She's just taking from you and now assuming she is you now.
Like, I have not yet in my career closed $1 million deal. All right? I can pull in 600, I can pull in six figures in revenue. I don't know about profit. Revenue of any business in a year. I can. That I can do. I choose to do it in real estate now. But I'm saying, when you think about someone pursued me for my mind, I'm saying, honest to God, my mind, and then was disappointed when we were married and I was pregnant, was disappointed. Like, this was honest to God. I was married to a little bitch who was disappointed that everything wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Almost like I feel like I've been deceived. Something like that. Like, I'm disappointed at how not brilliant I thought you would be.
Well, yeah. I mean, everyone has that idea like, oh, he or she's going to be amazing and I'm going to be overwhelmed. But then you're setting them up to failure. It's like when a new iPhone comes out. I know it's a trivial comparison. All these pundits are saying, oh, the new iPhone's going to have this, it's going to have that, it's going to have 20 other things. And then when Apple finally releases it and it only has 3 or 4, people are let down. Oh, well, you said it was going to have this, you said it was going to have that. It's like, no, the other guy said we were going to do that. We never mentioned anything. So this guy or girl is going to start assuming, oh, Louie's going to do this for me. Keenan's definitely going to do that for me. Oh, yeah, will always be there for me. It's like, yeah, but you have to add something to the pot.
Right.
You know?
Damn the fuck straight.
That's why you always start out with your worst self and go up.
I have always said I don't want a friend.
Yeah,
who's of no value financially at all to me. Well, none. I don't need it. I don't want it.
And that's the thing. To me, I've always said this. The big things are easy. Birthdays are easy. Anniversaries are easy. They're staring you in the face. It's the small, teeny, tiny things that are big. Sitting at my desk, if my girlfriend here or the person I'm dating here brings me over a little bit of a snack. Hey, you've been working hard. Here's the thing. Hey, I got these movie tickets that you were looking for. Oh, I got this T-shirt for you. Just these little tiny things. It's not the item. It's the idea that I was on your mind. you thought about me and say, hey, I got this little token. Thank you so much for everything you bring to my life. That, I think, what both men and women are looking for. But the women who are looking for the nannies and all that other stuff, that's a completely different topic. You know, it's most guys can't handle that, nor do they want to.
And when they do and can handle it, it's a totally different type of relationship. Like, as long as you're aware of the exchange of funds and services that those type of relationships are, cool. Just know you're not in a 50-50 relationship.
Oh no, and
where
if that's
just 100% taken care.
Yeah, and if that's what you enter into, that's awesome. If you have these gold diggers, and I know there's websites out. I saw one article, some video article on Facebook that this one college student is getting her nursing degree. It's always the nursing degree. Why is it always nurses that do this? She found some older gentleman.
They're strippers with integrity.
Yeah, to pay for her rent, and all her schooling. But that's fine. But understand, this is not a two-way street. Like, you know, the guy has to understand what he's getting, and the girl has to understand what she's getting. And if you start falling for him, oh wow, I really love him. No, he's got 3 other women that he's doing this for because he's got millions of dollars, or maybe he doesn't. Right. I've known guys, and I'm sure all of you guys have too, that go into hock. Guys are spending their money, their paychecks before they even get it.
Oh my dear, not anymore. Not anymore.
Well, you know what I mean. All you guys have seen it, dealt with it, heard about it, had a friend.
Not anymore.
Spending a paycheck before you even get it.
I got into a conversation at some party I went to where I was definitely gender outnumbered. But I was explaining to these ladies that money is a bad indicator to see how well a guy is interested in you, because if you find one of those guys that are spending a lot of money on you, that tends to mean there's a lack of value for you as the person. Because the money is frivolous, you are too, right? And then there's like the opposite, where I would kind of like classify Louis in. If you're too tight with it, that's also something that isn't good for the male perspective or the female perspective. But I was telling them, it's like when I was really doing crazy financially, I would be frivolous. I wouldn't care. I would spend. I would make sure that at one point I was literally just buying hotels because I didn't want to see them. Like, I didn't want them to see my place. So I would just get a room for the night, whatever. And in the area, it was literally like a block from my apartment. Like, I would just get this hotel that was a block from my apartment, say like, yeah, I just wanted to like do something special. Like, it just didn't matter. And that's how, just like that hotel, that's how I treated her. Like, it was the same thing, because the money wasn't really that important. Neither was she.
And here's the big thing that I tell people, and this is not sage wisdom: looks wane. Looks wane real quick. You might be hot, and you know, as a guy, I'm talking about women. You might be hot. You might be just the body, the hair, everything is perfect. But if you don't bring something to the game, your looks in 5 years, 10 years, 15, they're going to wane. They're going to start slipping a little bit, and that guy is gone. And that's why some of these women get their heels in, they get their claws in. And I'm not saying all women, but there's enough to make reality TV shows about them. Looks wane real quick. And some of these guys, and unfortunately, you have the double standards. As the guys get older, unless they get grossly out of weight, salt and pepper hair, they have their money, they can continue to get the younger women. You know, I've met guys in their 40s that'll only date women that are 21, 22.
Right. As long as your income inflation increases faster than your age, you should be good. You should never, have
women. You know, what I think we should talk about on the show, like, I think this is very relevant to the conversation. I think we actually should bring this up at some point, maybe even do a topic about it, is how when these women, a man is not a plan. Damn straight, I want to know you could pull in 6 figures. I worked until I was 39 weeks pregnant with twins. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was in a marriage with somebody who paid, when it all was said and done, my subsidy, I'm saying, only thing I didn't pay in our apartment was rent. That was it. That was the only bill he solely covered, which he could more than afford.
Yeah, but understand, there's a lot of women out there.
I'm never going to do it again, ever. You know what I'm saying? Because this person was not bringing what I was bringing to the table in a full amount of time. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of women out there that have been told their entire lives, "You're
They've
beautiful,
been
you're a
so
princess, you,
badly lied to and shit done.
everything should be paid for." I went out when I was 25, 24, 25. God knows how many years ago. I went out with a girl who was like 19, 20 years old, not 21, but still, I was only a few years older than her. We went out, and beautiful girl, 19, gorgeous, and she was telling me, "Oh, well, I get manicures every week, pedicures every 2 weeks. I get my hair done every 3 weeks." I'm like, wow, that gets expensive. And this is my little indoctrination into what some women are. She's like, "Oh, I don't pay for any of them. If the guys I date want me to look good, they pay for it." And I'm like, and I'm looking at, like, at 24, I was 3 years out of college. I was working in the city, in Manhattan. And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" She's like, "The guys want me to look good. They will pay for my tanning. They'll pay for my hair, my nails." And I'm like, really? That is very impressive. Just to end
That's
this,
so creepy. I
and
can't
just
even
to end this little
think
anecdote,
straight.
we went into a mall. Yeah, you'll love this. We went into a mall. She's like, "I want to go into the jewelry store." I'm like, okay. She was looking at rings, wedding rings.
What?
And she said to the woman behind the counter, "Could I see that one?" She pointed to one on the lower level. She's like, "Oh, this is a 1.5 carat." These words came out of her mouth. "Oh, I would never marry a guy unless my ring is at least 2 carats." And the woman behind the counter looked at her ring, which was a beautiful engagement ring. She said, "Oh, mine's 1.5." The girl I was quote unquote with, "Oh, well, that's good for you, not for me." And I locked eyes with the woman behind the counter, and I was trying to, like, by matrix, trying to let her know I'm not with her. She does not speak for me. This is not my lawyer. And I was like, "You're an awful, awful individual." But she was 19, so she must be 35 by now, and hopefully not a complete bitch. These are all true. I like I say on stage, it's like, folks, I really wish I was making this up, but I'm not, and that's where the groaning starts. I had moved in with somebody, and beautiful girl, wonderful, have nothing bad to say about her. I made not tens of thousands, but I made quite a bit more than her, where I would pay the rent and a few other bills, but she would do all the grocery shopping. She cooked all the meals. She kept the apartment clean. She did all of that stuff. So there was a balance where she was running her own business, and she was doing all the errands and all the little things for the apartment, calling up the landlord, blah, blah, blah. So there was that balance. And that's why I was talking about, like, some of those small things that really make a big deal. There did come a situation where, where we wanted to do things, but I didn't have the cash to pay for both of us, so we didn't do things. There does come a point where if the girl's making 60,000 and the guy's making 500,000, then it's like, that's, if you guys want to go away to Croatia, Bora Bora, or you want to rent a house somewhere in Montreal, I don't think she's going to be, or he's going to, if it's a guy that's making the least amount of money, I don't think they're going to be chipping in. They might get breakfast once in a while. I think both people have to know what situation they're getting into. Like, if I'm making 150,000 and the girl's only making 60,000, a large amount of the financial situations of dating will fall on my shoulders.
Okay.
Well, let me
But
just say
however,
something.
let me amend that real quick. But here's the catch, though, that it's the other person that doesn't have to keep on pushing. "Oh, well, I want to go here." Well, that's gonna be 10,000 each. So you have to understand what your station is and how you fit into the relationship. And I'm not saying whoever makes less money is less in that relationship. That's not what I'm saying. But understand that just because you want to do something doesn't mean you can do it. Just because you want the $350 Book of Mormon seats doesn't mean the guy is automatically going to shell out $1,000.
Make suggestions in your budget range.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm like, on some dates I've been on, and I swear the girl said, "Oh, I would love to go to that museum." So we went to the museum, and I paid. There's a great new gelato place. We went. Another. Where did we? I had to pay for all of them. Plus, I had to pay for the taxis to all of them, and this and that. And it's like, honey, I'm not a tour guide. I'm not your ATM. It's like you're mentioning all these places you want to go eat, but you're not actually offering to make any plans, reservations, or help pay for any of it. So you got to keep your expectations down a little bit because you're not actually, and again, it comes back to you're not actually adding anything into this interaction. You're taking.
Just to your budget. I
Have
want
you?
to
Oh,
I want to clarify. So in that one relationship, you moved in with her.
We got a new apartment.
Okay, so
I
you
moved out
both-
of mine. She moved out of hers. We got a brand new
Got it.
place.
Okay, that clears up everything that I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. We can talk about that offline.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were doozies.
Yeah, I mean, it's different questions. It's different questions when a man moves into a woman. That's one. That's one question, and then if a woman moves into the guy, that's a whole different set of questions.
Oh,
So-
I've dated women. Their apartment, they've got 4 bedrooms. They own the floor. They own their entire this. I have dated women who make a spot more than I do, and I'm like, damn. But never did I think, oh, her money is mine now. That would be foolish, and that's not the way. That's not the way it works.
You feel in that? Because I think that's a good one to try to touch on. Because a lot of women feel like, all right, if they make more than the man, that the man is going to be insecure and they're intimidated and things of that nature. So, what was your experience out of those?
To me, if she was like, oh, I want to go here for dinner, I'm like, and if I was in between jobs, you know, I'm to make money. I'm a designer. I've been doing that for 20 years now. I'm an author and all that stuff. To me, it's like, oh well, you know, I really don't have the 300 for the tickets for like Broadway show, or it's like, hey, we went out to dinner, we did a show, I'm kind of tapped out right now. And this might have been many years ago. I wasn't making as much, and invariably, most of the time, she'd be like, no, I got it. And I wouldn't say I felt less than a man. I just didn't think I was adding my fair share to the relationship. But to her defense, if you will, she might have thought, listen, I make plenty of money. This doesn't mean anything to me. I want to treat you. I'm not paying for you. I'm paying for us. But there are some women.
Difference. That's it. Closes the deal. Boom. Ladies, wake the fuck up. It's real. Go ahead.
I wasn't demasculated. I didn't think, maybe I was in the woman's seat. Maybe I was the woman in the situation for some of the situations we're talking about. Maybe I felt I'm not adding enough. And she was like, no, you've got a great sense of humor. You're fun to be around. You're this, you're that. You make the night fun for me, the weekend fun for me. So I guess I'm adding in the intangible item instead of money and cars or whatever. I'm there to, not like from Goodfellas, oh, I'm here to make you laugh. What am I, a clown to you? It's the idea that it's a separation from the rest of her life. And I think she was a lawyer at the time, which is why I don't date lawyers or therapists. But yeah, I felt like I wasn't adding to the relationship accordingly. But to her, I was. So I kind of went with it.
I guess you kind of quoted her, could have been paraphrased or whatever. But I'm doing this for us. I've gotten into a couple of conversations where that should definitely be your mentality, especially if you're whatever the breadwinner, man or female. You get to a point of, all right, well, I enjoy your company. So if I pay for you to fly to New York, don't feel bad. If I come down to wherever you are, like whatever it is, if there's a vacation I want to go on and I invite you, I'm going to just pay for us. Like it's because I'm going. Like I'm going anyway. The most part, I've had one girl, like, she tried to step up and pay for her flight.
Yeah.
Right? Like the hotel price isn't going to change at all. It's always more expensive to travel as one for the most part.
Yeah.
That's just the way the world is set up. You're not even supposed to be single. So it's almost easier for me to just, all right, come with me. Let's have fun because I tend to have fun with you. This money isn't a problem and you shouldn't feel like a certain way about it.
But it's tough to get that through to somebody, be it girl or guy, saying, listen, I have the money. I want to do this for us. I want to go away. I want you to come with me. So this is not me paying for you. This is me paying for us. It might be semantics to some people, but it's holistically, it's very, very important. I went out with someone, I was dating someone maybe a year ago. She refused to let me pay for even drinks. And in the beginning, I was like, I'm not asking anything from you. I'm not looking to quote unquote get anything from you. She's like, no, I don't like when guys pay for drinks, this and that. And even when we were dating, she had a hard time letting me pay for drinks, and I had to digest that as her independence and not push it. It wasn't her thinking I was, to put it bluntly, getting something from her, sexual or whatever. It was the idea that that was her independence and that was her philosophy. So I said, cool, and I accepted it, and I didn't push it because that's what made her her, and I moved on. But we did movies and we did everything else. Just men think if they're paying for something, then it's all good, it's all good. But that's not the case. So they think, I'm the man, I should pay for things.
I think it's time for people to get the hell real. You need to walk in, especially I want to say north of 26. Really, I'm giving you an extra year above 25 to be stupid. Nobody does that. Nobody. Just me and your car insurance. That's it. Nobody else gives you any leeway for being 26 and stupid still. Like, you got to come to the table. There is no question. I am so verifiable. I'm saying if I'm telling this to you with the intention we're putting this shit on iHeartRadio and we're blasting it, I obviously would feel this way unapologetically. Like, I want to actually attack what I meant by the Range Rover comparison. I have to be very real. I have 2 failed marriages. I am busy. I know how to work. I have no education. I'm a miracle, I guess you could say. And not to sound gross, I come from a welfare single parent household. Why is it that I'm about to open a property hunting firm? I have no education. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be real with what I want out of life. My ex-husband.
Your issue with that relationship was the lack of ambition, not the lack of income.
It's not only the lack. I mean, my ex-husband is a pile of crazy. Listen. My ex-husband and I have no drama, but that's because there's just a very clear understanding that I'm an adult and you're not. And it's like, would I be mad at the dog for peeing on the rug while I was at work? No. Like, I should have put the dog away. It's terrible. Again, terrible analogy. My point is, if I knew that these are all of these things that I want to do with my life, independent of you, okay, I'm going to do this shit whether I'm the queen alone in the castle or not. Do you understand what I mean? My ambitions don't change. I'm not saying, I demand you make $100,000 a year. I'm still, dude, I'm trying to build a business. I'm doing, and not have breast cancer, and make sure. I'm saying all of these things coming full circle. Thank God. The amount of work it took, no way in hell, and was I going to let someone in their problems, be they legitimate or otherwise, ruin my connections with landlords, with developers? No, the shit way. No, I value my money, my time, our children above you. So now going into this again, if I were to ever do this again, I have to make a list. These are the things I'm good at. If you would want me to be your wife, you wouldn't have somebody like me on accident and just not use her. What I am is the beginning stages of a self-independent, hopefully one day venture capitalist. These are what the people like me do for a living. We sell big things or do things like have a radio show. I'm saying none of that's going to change for you, whoever you is. So you can either become a part of the circle. My job should be to spend our money, your money, my money. My job should be I'm not interested in Broadway tickets. I want assets that make our children wealthy, where they have decisions made. They have to question nothing because we can give them jobs, which means they can focus on being people.
To succinctly put is because Andrew said the reverse of it earlier. She was subtract. It's just about building. And the only way to build is for both parties to be adding something to the pile. Building means addition. That's the only way you can do it. You got to build by adding.
I am not interested in okay, let me be even a pinch more shitty. I'm not interested in growing a shrub. I'm not interested. I'm not. You're not worth the gamble. I want to see your orchard. Sell me on the orchard. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in taking on the hobby of planting. Saying I'm not going to be sold the dream.
No one ever does, yeah.
Not because no, but I'm saying, my dear, you're talking to me like I'm an average woman. There's a reason this is so important.
No, you're right.
Women ruin their own lives. for divorce, for fat and stretch marks, and they have no education or ways to support themselves. They come to me, and they cry and they say, why? And how do I fix it? And can I love again? And it's, you're so far away from loving again. It's so broken. You need to start, acquire employment anywhere. I'm saying, I've had to say to women who are taken care of by husbands who finally talked their last bit of shit and found themselves with next to nothing, no children. Now, oh, I have a house. You have a house you couldn't begin to pay for.
So, you know what I think we should do? I think we had set a topic for my life for some reason, like that gets hits or whatever.
Yes.
We should set a topic to actually unpack these past relationships so people can actually understand the stories that you're coming from. So that's going to set up. But I want to move on while we still have Andrew here.
Yeah, I mean, well, can I let me jump in?
Whoever's getting me is getting value,
All
and
right,
I will never again turn a blind eye, God forbid, to my value because it's high.
We got it.
I won't.
Yeah. Well, first, I find it offensive that you guys were talking about an orchard with a Latino on the line. Yeah.
Well, the Jew will own it, so it's all good.
Yeah. And also, I found a clip from Divorce Court which really sums up this topic really well.
Dun, dun.
So, and here we go.
Take care of her.
I believe that the woman who came up with women's lib, I like to meet her so that I can choke her because I do not want to work. I don't want the same rights as my husband. He's the provider, the sole provider.
You don't want the same rights.
No, Your Honor, I do not want the same rights.
She was working. You believe that women shouldn't have the same rights, or do you just believe that women shouldn't have the same obligations?
The same rights.
Smart.
Right.
And that comment comes back to, I don't know if it was Yael or Keenan that said this, that when you have to bring something to the relationship, unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that think they're what they're bringing, but not in the sense of what Yael is saying. They figure, oh, look at my tits, look at my ass, look how good I look in my dress. I'm bringing those to the relationship. And you're not bringing an education. I'm not saying that they can't have an education, but they're not bringing anything else. They're not bringing a company. They're not bringing a dog. They're not bringing, oh, I can do this for you. I can do this for us. They think that,
of what I want to do for you. I want to be I want one of my jobs in life, should I ever have a husband again, to invest his money in places it will grow.
Yeah. All right, let me continue.
Desperate housewife of Texas. I claim that. You know why? Because I feel like I should sit at home, get my hair done, get my nails done, be able to go to the tanning salon because I do enjoy tanning. Being a woman is about getting pampered, Carlos. If you realize that, we wouldn't be here today.
So if your husband is the provider, he can tell you what to buy and what not to buy. You don't believe in that, do you?
Absolutely not. Being a woman
that's not what you think.
Carlos refuses.
Go ahead, Yael.
I mean, she's insane. Get my nails done. I'm sitting here looking at a bottle of nail polish saying, paint your fucking nails so you don't look stupid tomorrow for all your meetings. Are you kidding me? While doing my show. She can kiss my ass. I hope she dies.
Doesn't care and only wants to be taken care of. The judge said something smart, and we can go off of that. But unless the judge is saying anything smart, I don't want to hear 5 minutes of idiocracy. Like, I just don't care.
All right.
But let's just move into the last topic because we're going to wrap this up. Andrew, earlier you had said something that you don't date lawyers. And I remember that was one of the conversations that we had when we first met is like the different professions out there, who's dateable and who's undateable. So why did you cross lawyers off the list? And we already took a jab at nurses today, so let's see how many professions we can just tear down.
Lawyers and therapists, and I'll break it down, and they're in the book, or they're going to be in, I've already started book 2 as well. Lawyers, not all, but the ones, and I hate the fact that I have to keep on prefacing, not all, because God knows they hate. There's also millennials out there that get offended over, everything. So the lawyers that I've gone out with were boring, no conversation, confrontational, trying to start an argument. I went out with one, and I was just, this actually was a politician that I lump in with a little bit of lawyer, and she was very, very high end in the UN, very close to Obama, and I said, this is many years ago, and I said, oh, well, I like the fact that we're taking our troops out of Afghanistan, but let's keep the covert soldiers in there. She's like, what do you mean covert soldiers? I said, well, there's the army, but then there's the covert black ops type that we keep that no one really knows about. She said, Andrew, I work at the UN. If we had covert soldiers somewhere, I think I would know about it.
Yep.
And then I would say things. She's like, oh, I don't know if I concur with you. I'm like, we're on a date. Don't use the word concur. Concur doesn't come in anywhere. So the lawyers will get confrontational. They always want to be right. Trial lawyers. The therapists think everything has to do with my mother. This wasn't a date. I was at a show, and a close girlfriend of mine who's a child psychologist brought one of her student friends, and I showed a photo of me, my mom, and my brother. And as a comic, as we all know, like I will, like as you guys do, like I make funny faces, or I'll do like a weird pose. In this photo, I was kind of leaning forward, like into my mom and into my brother, like across the frame. And she said, oh, this photo is very telling about your relationship with your mother. I'm like, no, it's just a funny photo. She's like, no, this says a lot about how you think of your mom. I'm like, well, we're done here.
Yep.
Thank you for bringing your friend.
That's
and
just...
show over. The therapists want to dig and dig and dig, and there might not be anything in the cave. Like there's nothing there, but they still don a miner's helmet, turn on the light,
Sometimes
and they
it's
keep
just
digging and
simple.
digging and digging. They want to find out, ooh, why did you say that word? Oh, you don't want to talk about your
Can I tell you
brother.
how many therapists I've set up in my life, and I have to remind them you're on a date?
And you're not on the couch, but it's kind of
No.
like the lawyers and therapists, doctors, architects. I've dated, I went out with one girl who was actually a part of the new 2nd Ave construction crew. Very, very cool to talk to her about, what's going on underground in the tunnel and everything. But it was
never gonna happen.
Oh no, it's never gonna happen. Ever, ever, ever. 20 years possibly.
She just that date. She just kept leading you on. I guess.
Yeah.
It's
good. Yeah, it's gonna be released in a year from now. Great. It's been 12 years. So lawyers and therapists, just because I've had bad experiences with, but I've dated a multitude of other, gone out with most. See, the thing is though, this is the misnomer. Women look at the book and they say, "Oh God, look at all these women you dated. Look at all these women you dated." I'm like, no. Most of these are first dates. And then people say to me, oh my God, why do you keep on picking bad women? I'm like, I don't know that they're bad when I ask them out. You don't know someone's bad maybe 2-3 hours into the date or a half an hour into the date. But these are the two professions that I've kind of crossed off. And I have not really found anyone that would not start an argument or not say concur with me on a date. So those are really the two. I wish I had a better answer for you. It was just kind of the same thing as everybody else. You just had bad experiences after bad experiences, and then trying to break down a photo with me and my mom. It's like, I don't get any of that. It's just the photo. Like there's nothing going on. Like there's no, story or whatever. So those are the two that I've kind of crossed off for a lack of anything exciting.
Okay. Well, yeah. Andrew, again, we thank you for taking the time out to be with us today.
This is a pleasure, guys.
Where can people find your book, and if you got anything else to promote?
Yeah, you can go on to checkpleasebook.com. There's a 20% off discount for you, and that'll you hit the buy button or purchase button, and that'll take you directly to Amazon or CreateSpace, and you can buy the book right there. So that code will pretty much pay for the shipping and handling. My website is andrewstandingup.com. And I got a lot of projects going on. I have a website, freestandupnyc.com. I also am one of the producers for the freestandupfestival.com. That's happening September 9th to the 15th. 14 shows, 3 cities, all free comedy.
Sweet. Yael, what you got for the people?
We still have 10% off of For Your Pleasure or For Your Relief at foryourpleasure.com. Promo code for love and play. Continue to like and spread and share the love on YouTube. Like and subscribe and iHeartRadio. The show is growing and we are super excited. And you can follow me, Yael Meisels, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. That's all I got.
All right, Louie.
Yes, and as always, you guys can listen to my personal radio show, the Crotch Shot Radio Show, hosted by me. It's on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, iTunes, And stay tuned on my Twitter, where whenever I am doing it live, I do my show live. Once in a while. I try to do it once a week. Pretty soon we're gonna get what's this we? I'm gonna get a schedule together and start doing the shows regularly again. And follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Louis B Comedy. Take it away, Keenan.
As you know, all my information will be on my website, www.keenanweaver.com. That's KENANWEAVER. Sunday Night Live, every Sunday at New York Comedy Club, 9 p.m. Check me out. As always, keep loving,